My name's Allen Cook. I've written Moonshine Murder Mountaineers, and you are standing in the wildest county in America around the turn of the century. This was having the highest murder rate back in around 1900, and I talk about the stories. This here is an old moonshine still. A lot of the stories were revenuers versus moonshiners, and about every holler, is what we call them, had a moonshine still in it at one point or another back in the day. And this here moonshine still, folks would take this off. This is the horse head, and you would pour your corn mash in here. You'd boil this off. The alcoholic steam would go into this horse head, down through this pipe, and into what's called a thumper. The thump keg is the name of this. The thump keg would take the steam, and it would impart a flavor on it. The person that used this still was my father-in-law, and he had fermented peaches in it. So it'd have a peach flavored corn mash, and then it would come out through here into the worm. The worm was where the gaseous alcohol condensed into liquid alcohol. So there'd be cold spring water in here, and it would come out and come out this pipe and into a jar. So they'd have a fire under this mash pot, and that was done in many a holler back in the day. So that's kind of your Moonshine 101 quick speech.
Tell me about how you got the book.
Okay, yeah, this is stories really about my ancestors. And I had a headline that said, Bakersville is the county seat of Mitchell County, one of the wildest districts in all the southern section of mountainous country. There were so many headlines of this type talking about this area, so I had to research the stories. And the reputation that was here was that folks were independent, and when the law tried to take out warrants, there were usually guns involved and people were shot. So that kind of environment made for some really notorious stories that went around the country. So
how's the moonshine business around here now?
It's still here. You just don't see it. It's went into the garages and the stainless steel stills. You probably won't run up on one in the woods. It's gotten more to be a home
I have run up on some moonshine though.
There are.
And I had some yesterday or day before yesterday that was the smoothest stuff I have ever tasted.
There's still folks around that can set you up.
How are they getting the apple and the peach flavors into it now?
Well, he would put that in the thump keg, and when the alcoholic gas would come in here with the ferment and peaches, it would just put a slight taint of a peach flavor on it.
Wonderful.
And that's what he would have, a little touch of peach to his brew. And that's how my father-in-law used to do that.
Now, are the the stuff that's being made now is in more modern equipment?
Yeah, everything is a stainless steel setup because copper corrodes, and that can get you poisoned. So
right.
When you
that happened a lot too.
Back in the day, and people would use radiators as the worm, as this cool part, and then that would even have lead in it. So you wanted to be really sure about how clean the moonshine still is. If you ran a few batches, it would usually clean itself out, but you would never want to drink that first batch out of an old still for the first time it's been run. So you always want to make sure you had a clean still, and that's very important. And a good old timer would always take a lot of time to clean a still.
Okay.
The moonshine that was made up in these mountains typically went down to Johnson City, Tennessee. And in Johnson City, Tennessee was the residence of Al Capone. So Al Capone's organized crime would take it from the mountains here to Johnson City and then up north. And that's how that distribution line went. So really neat neat history.
So from Bakersville to Johnson City, from there, everywhere.
All up to wherever the demand was, whatever club wanted it. So neat